Welcome to another edition of What the Fuck Happenings here and such. Yeah, that's all I'll say. Yeah, still in Mendham. 2 more months and that'll be it. Something like that. Month and a half, whatever. Something like that. Who knows? Alright, so anyway, the fake Sagan over there. Um, yeah, he went through his surgery and all. I was, feeling sort of sorry for him, like empathetic, like, ooh, that's a horrible thing to have happen. Having a tumor in your head and having to have it pulled out through your face. Just the not knowing all that kind of stuff. And so it turns out benign and all that stuff, so it's all kind of good news there. But it's still very unpleasant to have to face those kind of things. You know, the after might be okay, but the before ain't so good. And I wouldn't think the during is all that good either. But anyway, but he took it like a man, blah blah, cliche, and all that mush. Where I probably wouldn't, because I find it all, from my perspective, this is all some sort of horrible imposition. You know, because this deal just isn't good enough. And why should I be subjected to this nonsense? So anyway, I've had this bad back now for 10 days, whatever, way too long. It's getting better, but just too damn slow, and I got too much to do and all that crap. But again, it's just another thing to get in your way, because it just kind of says to you, this is your vulnerability. I got to worry about everything I do now because I really can't afford to re-injure it, and so it's just this gets in the way. And as you get older, it gets worse. Things take longer to get better, and just all sucks. So anyway, just more, I'm facing my own trauma of my life slipping through my fingers, so to speak. The life I had, and having to transition to some new hell. But anyway, it's not a tumor in my head, so I guess I shouldn't complain. But no, I feel like complaining. So, being there, not much else to say or do, or I haven't come up with the brilliant idea that's going to make all of mankind rational. So the best I could do is just argue with it, little pieces of it at a time, or just point out this and that. So I just figured I would use this fake Sagan video to talk about something else. So that's what I'll do. So I'll just, we'll see how it goes. I mean, he says, I didn't watch the whole thing, because as soon as he started being preposterously stupid, I was just like, oh, you just start losing all your empathy. You just start saying, gee, well, maybe it'd be better if he did have cancer. It's, your brain just starts to lose all interest, and just, another stupid human. But anyway, let's play along.
Greetings, citizens of the YouTubes. I should be relaxing and taking it easy after the surgery, but I'm starting to feel a little bit better. And
yes, I'm sure just making a video isn't really that taxing, but yes, got to take care. Have a drink.
There's so much ridiculous shit.
You just started the video, but okay. So you also have to wonder how much a fake Sagan is orchestrated. Like, he doesn't notice that, oh yeah, maybe I should take a drink as I start the video, because everybody needs to have a pause for some reason. So I have to do something pausey.
In the news cycle right now, I don't want to be left out. Plus, I'm really fucking high. They gave me some of these good opioid epidemics, and
Epidemic? That seems like a weird word for a pain pill, but okay. Maybe things change. I guess that's the new word, but it's kind of funny. But again, so he's just pushing the drug thing. So that's another thing I'm just not too pleased when people do, because they're supposed to be, us older people should start, saying something about, look, there's smart ways to live and dumb ways to live, and being on drugs is a dumb way to live. It's a recreational thing. You gotta put it in a little tiny part of your life. It's not the big part of your life, it's the little part of your life. and you know, people have no perspective. You're just wasting your days here on Earth. You know, and yeah, I understand life's painful and you need to escape, but it's not practical. You'll pay for it.
Between you and me, I'm not even in any pain, but these things make you feel good. Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know if that's all entirely true, but whatever. So even though he takes pills, it's a little weird. He drinks first and then takes the pill. Interesting.
Good times. So anyway.
Yeah, that just ruins so many people's lives. So yeah, good times, big giant social price. You know. So what's the message? Ah, that's right. Casual, reckless, glib. Who cares? So yeah, I'm just saying, you know, I'm not against drinking, not against drugging, but there are smart ways and dumb ways, and nobody ever really talks about it. But you know, it's like when you're drinking. You always have to be smart enough ahead of time to know there's going to be this period where I start to feel comfortable and good, and I have to stop then. So even though I feel like drinking more, and I feel indestructible, and I feel comfortable, that's when I have to know I've already had enough, and I'm going to fuck it up if I think I'm better off drinking more. That's going to be a mistake. So don't drink more. And that's, you know, there's always little things you have to learn, but some people don't learn after 150 years, you know. Some people are really slow learners. It's almost like I shouldn't have to tell somebody, because I learned that when I was like, what, 18 or something, you should start to figure this shit out. So there's no point in me giving people advice, because obviously it's something that already should have occurred to them, that, oh yeah, there is this kind of rational strategy to party fun, and that you sort of have to plan it or you'll fuck it up, and it won't be so much fun.
Between the new Gillette razor commercial and the...
Speed it up. Yes, that's a good idea. Just do a little speeding up. Be fair.
Tim Catholic high school fiasco. It seems that it's a bad time to be white and male.
So again, this whole we're so persecuted, the white male. You know, they have to work for all those women. You know, all the men are working for the women, and all the men are working for the black people, and all the men are so oppressed and so defranchised and you know, undesirable and blah blah blah. It's just a pile of crap. You know, and the fact that the male stereotypes have essentially run culture for a very long time, and really in bad ways, in insanely wasteful ways. Like, you know, we're playing the national anthem at our stupid little sporting events. You know, huge amounts of money wasted on these silly notions of being a man and having a manly day. You know, going to the baseball game and wearing your big #1 sponge finger. I mean, there are things worth ridiculing, and there's plenty of things ridiculable about the gay people. You know, the ones that are, you know, insanely, eccentrically mimicking or role playing. You know, just pretending I'm a guy and I'm pretending to be a woman. You know, that kind of shit. It's okay. I mean, that's your thing to do. I'm just saying it is ridiculable. Because it's so over the top, you know, and so such bad acting, so cliche, and then you can make fun of the silly women with the here 1 minute they want respect, and the next minute that they waste their time on trivial, silly, sparkly, pretty shit, getting all panicked because, oh, there's a little bit of a crease in my curtain or some other kind of frivolous crap. Yeah, that's all ridiculable. And so we ought to ridicule all of it. And I think there's been plenty of ridicule spread around. And the ones who seem to be immune to it for an awful long time were the white males. So maybe it's about time they got around to making fun of some of them. Especially now, right? you know, they're protest males. You know, oh, okay, I'll try to be as unattractive as possible. I'll grow a bunch of, like, you know, whatever, ass hair on my face, so my face looks like an ass, and and you know, and you know, there's well, there's so many ironies in there. Um, you know, they just demand, you know, you have to love me no matter what I do, no matter how I behave. I mean, it's just such a childish attitude.
But what else is new, right? Um,
I mean, Trump being the perfect example of the baby man, you know, the man who never had to earn anything, never had to really work, never really had to face a real threat, um, you know, and just as a whiny little baby.
so let's start with the razor commercial. For one, this is a boycott that I can sit out because I never shaved with the blade.
Yeah, you're a real man. You know, whatever, you pull the hairs out.
Gave that up when I was 15 years old. I just take a beard trimmer, remove the guard from it, and shave with that.
Which doesn't make much sense, but whatever, fine. If that works for you. I mean, it sounds like you're going to end up nicking a thing or here or there, you know, but fine, whatever.
Razor burn, you don't get ingrown hairs that look like acne. I don't know why anybody would want to shave with a blade. I think they suck.
Whatever, they work. That's one reason. You know, it's pretty good. And the electric razors are, you know, they're the ones that kind of push the crap into your face. You got to be a little bit careful. But all of them, you have to do it right. And there's right ways to do it and wrong ways to do it. And, you know, but who cares? Yeah, that's a good point. Who cares?
And I've been doing the whole perpetual 5 o'clock shadow Paul Joseph Watson thing since way before it was cool.
Right. So you were a moron before everybody else became a moron. So you were like the triumphant leader of idiocracy. You know, because it is sort of idiotic. I mean, the simple argument can be made that, yeah, I wouldn't give a shit. You know, let the hair grow. If I don't have to look at me, fine. But I'm smart enough to know that most women don't like hair on your face. It's just a fact. So you're cutting your percentages down, you know, by having a hairy face. And, you know, there's a point where maybe I'll just give up like everybody else. I mean, I've sort of given up on any kind of realistic notions of giving a damn about being attractive. But it's just, you know, my own personal thing. Like, I still have to see myself in the mirror, and I just don't want to look at that. Yeah, I just don't want to look at myself, you know, in that mode where I'm just, no, ooh, I wouldn't fuck me either.
Well, I don't have to boycott anything, but that commercial, you know, I was more interested. Everybody's hung up on the fact that it was anti-male. It was misandric. We don't get to hear that word very often.
Yeah, because you really haven't been misandricked into horrible prosecution. You know, you really didn't come from some place where you didn't get to own property. You know, you've never been a slave either. You know, women were slaves. You never had to earn or get your voting franchise, so to speak. You know, where they had to. There's a history of the persecution, and all you know, clock stopper types, you all just sort of want to go back. You just want to sit there and stop the clock and push the hands back a bit. Because you like the advantage. You know, you're just not very competitive, I guess. You don't like to earn it.
But what I'm really hung up on is that it was specifically anti-white male, and it wasn't even.
So whatever that means, you know, I don't know. You know, I guess they didn't have enough black men represented or enough Asian men represented or some other kind of thing in their ridicule or portrayal of the cliche male stupidities. But many of these cliche stupidities are sort of white male. NASCAR, for example, or something. That kind of cliche.
It was like a Bird Box commercial. Like you got the hot white girl walking down the street, and the white dude bro comes out of a door and starts following her, and then like his too cool for school black friend puts his hand on his chest and stops him and says, "Whoa, whoa, not cool, bro, not cool."
Yeah, obviously not really very realistic. So what? I mean, it's just a demonstration of, yes, we do want to say that somehow, yes, white people and black people could actually be friends. And that that could actually happen in the real world somewhere. We like to think so. That's not so harmful to like to think so. And obviously they do this all the time. They engineer this racial blah, blah, blah bullshit. And yeah, it's not very honest. But you could see like a Christopher 7 type. Remember, you had a little fight with him about some shit. And you could see that type of black male not being a cliche black male, right? So, it's, yeah. The point is that, you can, you can have these conversations about people and bad habits, and people get sensitive. So people can persecute cigarette smokers and overtax them and think they're fucking Nazis of some kind. But the drunk drivers are okay, and especially if you're a cop and you're a drunk driver, it's okay. And now marijuana. Oh yes, this is a great liberty to be an asshole. Oh great, it's just so there's hypocrisies all over the place.
Like, why is it not cool? You gonna hit on her yourself? Because I know how much.
Well, why it wasn't cool is just saying that it's the cliche kind of behavior, that he's not really after the next Mrs. Bubba. He's after just some sort of, let's see how much I can fool her into thinking I'm a person who doesn't already have a wife, or some kind of bullshit like that. So we know that's what it's really talking about. But you can pretend it. You're allowed to pretend anything you like to pretend.
How much of that's encouraged in the media. Anyway, those evil white males, evil, trying to.
Well, I don't think the media created the fact that black men who grow up in white culture might have an affection for white women because that's all they see on TV, and that's all, So this ends up being something they're attracted to. So that's not a huge surprise, is it? I don't think it's a huge surprise.
Perpetuate their race or whatever, trying to keep those population levels up. Evil stuff.
So again, he's turning this into it's like some conspiracy to depopulate the earth of white people or something. And he's associating sex with reproduction, like anybody who's. Well, frankly, I never had any notions that you had. Well, I guess there was a little small period in my life where I might have been confused enough to think if you had sex, you were automatically going to end up having a baby, and that's So there might have been a period where I was pretty scared, but during that period, I don't think I was attracted to girls anyway, so it didn't matter. I wasn't attracted to any humans.
Eating white man, stop it. Just be a trans, gender fluid. Just stop breeding. Knock that out. You don't like.
So he thinks the tranny movement is a not breeding movement, which is another silly notion. The fact that people's sexual identities are all screwed up. Well, they probably should be. I mean, isn't there's certain ironies here, right? Because there's a bunch of like middle-aged men who have to take a pill to get their dicks up, and they're having kids. And so they already have some kind of dysfunction problems, and I mean, clearly there's people who are it's obviously the stuff isn't working right because they end up cutting it off. I mean, for me it'd be like the last thing I would give up. You could have like my eyeballs and my ears and lots of different parts. The last part I'm not giving them up. It's the only thing of any value, so that has grown on me, and obviously for a male to not find it the perfect entertainment, it must not be working right? That's the only conclusion you can draw. It must not be working for you. but these same people reproduce. So it's like the woman who, you know, gets the silicone breasts and then has a kid, or the woman who has cancer and then has a kid. You know, there's no logic going on in people's heads. But anyway, to think this is about breeding is just retarded.
Stop it. Stop. Cut your dick off. Stop it.
So you have to cut your dick off, okay, to stop breeding. You can't wear a condom or take the pill or get a vasectomy. There's no other solution. There's either you cut your dicks off or you have kids. I mean, that logic is just so stupid. I mean, like I said, I don't think too many, even like 7 and 8 year olds could give fake Sagan some sexual instruction.
Yeah. So this Covington Catholic high school thing.
Don't know. I didn't even know there was a Gillette commercial. So yeah. So that's a whole nother subject, right? Just the whole fact that people are motivated or they react. They're triggered. And I suppose I would be if I still had that awful TV thing in my house and allowed it to just be in the background so it could say things that were just so fucking annoying. So I guess people are, but that's all you're being. People are just being triggered, and over time you figure out, well, this is just the same shit over and over again. Like every 5 years they'll bring up North Korea, and then they'll bring up Taiwan, and then they'll bring, it's like there's these patterns of crisis, and they're always used for some purpose to distract people from something else more important. So they're always distractions. They're always just noise. They don't mean anything, really. The world really doesn't change because of these stupid little events. You're just being gamed by their noise. You're letting their noise get to you.
Nick Sandman. Really cool name. I shouldn't know his name. I shouldn't know a 16-year-old high school student's name. Unless he shot up a school. Or survived.
Well, look, realistically, it's a changed world. And so if you don't think that people are going to be more anonymous as the future, we drive into the future, no, they're going to be less and less anonymous because we're going to have to do it as a matter of security. Because there's so many ways right now for people to really fuck everybody over. This technology that they've just let loose. They got these Blu-ray lasers. I mean, somebody with a little bit of engineering skill can turn that into one hell of a malicious weapon. I don't mean, evaporating people, but I mean, you can fuck up people's eyesight, do lots of horribly malicious things. So the world's not going to get safer. It's going to get more dangerous. And the only rational response to that danger is the fact that we're all going to have to keep an eye on each other. And I say bravo. I say, look, if they could invent a pill that forced us all to tell the truth, great. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of living in a society full of frauds and fakes and phonies. So wouldn't it be better if people choked on their lies, if there was such a mechanism, where there wasn't this capacity to call people up, lying to old people, trying to steal their money. All this crap couldn't happen anymore. If we had some sort of little rings around our neck that blew our heads off when we were acting like an asshole. So anything that does that is great. So, but yeah, this idea that people are going to live anonymously is just horseshit. I mean, it's the internet, fucker.
But I do. And that's the problem.
Well, it's a big problem because you know his name. Somebody does something, makes the news, and we're all surprised that, oh yeah, that's going to change your life. Yeah, that's what it's going to do. It happens. Sometimes you're innocent and you get fucked up by the system. That, if you can invent a perfect system, then please invent it.
There's a lot of interesting things that have come out of this. I guess we already knew that Twitter was pretty biased in how they enforce their rules, because all these threats of violence against minors, and it's perfectly okay, but when Milo Yiannopoulos said that the Ghostbusters feminist movie sucked, they banned his account on Twitter, right? But you can talk.
So yeah, that's his story anyway. So I'm supposed to believe that Twitter banned a guy's account because he said the Ghostbuster movie sucked, or even if he said something like "stupid chick films suck," or some kind of statement like that, and I'm supposed to believe that. So right already, see, not knowing anything about the context of this, you can already smell that this isn't going to be the true version either, right? So maybe there's all kinds of versions of the story, but I'm not going to get the truth from this guy either. I'm going to get a bent perspective, bent, crooked, perverse.
Putting kids in a wood chipper and offer to suck anybody's dick who feloniously assaults them, and that's okay.
So again, whether or not that was okay as any kind of serious thing or a hunk of humor or some other context, but like I said, are we getting the truth? The fact that any one of these corporations makes stupid decisions, yeah, that's going to happen. You think you could make all these decisions much, much better than them, fine. I would agree that their biases exist, but I don't think they're engineered biases. They're just the fact that it's not an accountable system. They don't have to account to me and you. They only have to account to shareholders and other mechanisms, and those mechanisms don't care, about our freedom.
Yeah, so we already knew that Twitter had a pretty heavy political bias. That's not news. I think the takeaway.
Yeah, I've never used it, so but I think it has a trivial bias. So what do you want me to the whole idea of it is so stupid in terms of why do people need it's clearly kind of just engineered to make just for people to insult each other, because that's all you can do in 3 sentences.
From this whole event is just how fucked up the entertainment industry is. People in it is what I mean, because these.
So I guess this is the Jew conspiracy part of the video. And again, what's to argue? Yeah, there's some great movies and there's some shitty movies, and they do seem to be all over the place. There's chick films and there's guy films and all that kind of crap, and there's formula all over the place. But compared to what again? Yeah, I mean, nobody's rewriting any great Shakespeare, but Shakespeare was really just writing reality. So it's just a display of the dysfunction of humanity is in all of this stuff somewhere. I mean, that's the formula, is playing a stupid game for stupid reasons.
These calls for violence against this kid, who did nothing more than smirk while white. They're all...
I don't know, so he did nothing more than smirk while white. So he made a smirk on Twitter and apparently got into trouble somehow. Okay. I think he probably did more than that, but okay.
The entertainment industry. Let's see, we had Jim Carrey. We had Marina Sirtis, the chick that played Counselor Troy on Star Trek a million years ago. If you're as old as me, you actually know what I'm talking about. If not, you probably have no idea who this chick is. And I forgive you, because she never did anything else noteworthy.
Yeah, well, she was in some of the other Star Trek movies where she was in like a cameo. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Let's see, who else was there? There was
Nemesis. Yeah, I think it was Nemesis. She had a little cameo at the end in Nemesis, something like that.
Some writer for SNL, a writer for Disney. Just all these celebrities, all these people in the entertainment industry.
It's really great, because I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about.
Wanting to see violence against kids. And
so I guess, again, is that the truth? They said they want violence against kids. I don't think that's what they said. I think again, he complains that everybody's getting pussified, because they find violence repugnant or repulsive, and they don't celebrate it, and they don't really celebrate this whole idea of pointless competitions and this whole ego crap. I'm the best, I'm better than you. And yeah, they go too far, because then they start saying it's okay to be 300 pounds when you're 13 years old, and it's not okay to be 300 pounds when you're 13 years old. So they take it way too far, and it's okay to, we're going to start figuring out what your sexual preferences are when you're 11 or something, when clearly, I don't, just going by my own standards, I mean, I was all over the map for a while, So there's just no way you choose, because you're just not in the choosing mode yet. You got to wait for it. But yeah, they want to force it. Oh, we don't want to miss any opportunities for you to wear a dress. I mean, like somehow, oh, you'll be shortchanged because you didn't get to wear a dress when you were 13. I mean, it's just kind of silly.
I think at this point, I'm starting to wonder, when are people going to begin to vote with their dollar and just stop going to movies and stop buying their shit? I mean, these people want...
Stop going to movies. So again, the movies are kind of engineered, but most of them do kind of suck you in one way or another. Either they got the hot chick in the right places, they got this, they got some kind of story, and you can get caught up into it for an hour and a half or 2 hours. So a lot of them aren't bad. I mean, most of the movies made in the modern era are just like X-Men type movies. I mean, they're totally male movies. I mean, come on, get real. I mean, the number of thoughtful movies compared to thoughtless movies is, come on. You shouldn't be complaining. I mean, there's not too many moral stories out there anymore.
Children's blood. This kid didn't do anything. He didn't even say a word. He just stood there and smirked. He stood there with a smug Pepe face, like, God damn, I love being white.
Okay, so if that's his statement, okay, if that's what the face was saying to the world was, God damn, I love being white, that is a statement, and it's kind of repulsive. I mean, it's fine, you can say it. I could say it. I feel lucky. Okay, I mean, so yeah, I'd rather be the majority race than the minority race. Just seems logical that I'd rather be.
I mean, he's...
But if I'm doing it in some kind of way like, haha, I'm white because I'm great, and you're black because you suck. I mean, that's retarded.
Inured to the absurdity...
Or more precisely, you suck because you're black, or I'm great because I'm white. I mean, that's just retarded. Just said that more politically correctly. Yeah.
The political theater in the U.S. since childhood. So to actually find yourself in the midst of some real deal black Hebrew Israelites, and I'm sure he knew who they are. I mean, if he's wearing the MAGA hat.
Okay, black Hebrew Israelites. So blacks who are yarmulke wearing blacks or something. I don't think I ever even saw a black man with a yarmulke, frankly. But anyway, let's play along. This will be fun.
He's been to Paul once or twice. He knew who they were. If anybody is caught off guard by the existence of the black Hebrew Israelites, you don't spend enough time on the internet, because these guys are a non-stop source of entertainment. They're like the black version of the...
Well, great. So it's all about the fringe again. So this is what you see happening with the news, right? I mean, it's just so obvious. They sit there, and we have a country of 300+ million people, and they just sit there and like they have like a radar thing going out, and it says, who's doing something completely stupid today? And then they race over there to go film the stupidest man in America, or the stupidest woman, or whoever, the stupidest event. And that's all it is. It just glorifies the aberration. Anything doing something that doesn't look human is the thing getting the attention. So anything that does something strange and bizarre gets attention. And so you're feeling left out, because, yeah, the news is just paying attention to all these little wacky people instead of you, the important, white guy, the normal person. But, yeah, that's because the news is a corporation that has to make money, and they have to sell product. And it's boring, and it's almost irritating for the news to be informative and educational. Oh, people don't, they get turned off by that now because they are imbeciles and they are, idiocracy is one. So it's not like, the old days when, the purpose of the news was to inform you about things that did matter, not things that couldn't possibly matter.
Baptist church, there's just professional trolls that show up and cause chaos. They're pretty awesome, actually.
So see, on one hand he's saying, oh, they're giving all these fringe people too much attention, and the next thing he's saying is the fringe people who get attention are awesome because look at all the attention they're getting, and they're playing the game and they're playing the system. So you can't have it both ways. Well, you can, but I'll just point out how you're having it both ways, which is, kind of cheating.
And these Native American protesters, whatever. Yeah,
that's sort of you're a long lost cause because they're not really Native American anymore, right? They really weren't in the first place because they were sort of the only Indians left were the Indians who didn't fight. So you can't claim like your guys claimed and then you can't claim 10 years later that your guys didn't surrender. That's kind of just bullshit. And claim that you still have winners' rights or something, or some right to a fight. But no, I'm completely empathetic to the horror and the terror and the awfulness of the whole stealing of what people have. But clearly that's how the whole game is supposed to be played. That's, the Native Americans, the North American Indians, were going to be consumed by the South American Indians anyway. So they were doomed anyway.
He didn't do anything. He didn't hurt anybody or even say a word from what I saw. He just kind of...
Right, so if there was some guy who was standing somewhere and there was a rape that took place right in front of him and he started laughing or something, obviously that guy would be worthy of some ridicule, right? So what game are you playing? Again, I don't know what the event was, but that's what it sounds like. He's saying somebody showed disinterest in somebody else's trauma or something.
With a face. Kind of stood there and made a face. I don't think he deserves to be doxxed or put in a wood chipper, especially considering he's 16. This writer for SNL, this one writer for Saturday Night Live offered a blowjob to anybody who assaults this kid. I think Nick Sandman should punch himself in the face.
So again, just more people being outrageous to get on the news, right? So another guy, we know that these comic writers are, have a real attention whore problem. So they're going to say something eventually to be controversial. I mean, that's part of the game they're playing. So again, you got gamed by another guy and you're saying you're falling for it.
So that she has to suck his dick. And then as a bonus, he can press charges for pedophilia because he's a minor. He's 16. So that would be such
bizarre, convoluted way of getting around the story and the actual statement. So you want to try to make it into some sort of he's guilty of being a pedophile because he made probably a humorism about garbage. I mean, human garbage. And the fact that you're saying some 16-year-old can't be garbage. Well, that if the 16-year-old was guilty of raping your daughter, for example, you'd say, he knew what he was doing, and he can take responsibility for being a piece of crap. So if a 16-year-old displays crap behavior or crap ethics, there's no reason that he's off limits because he's 16. Bullshit. I mean, mistakes are one thing, but things that aren't mistakes. It's just it's not like it accidentally. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to give that impression. If that's the impression he meant to give, then why shouldn't he be just as accountable as anybody else? Clearly, you don't think you were beneath judgment when you were 16.
When? So, Nick Sandman, if you're watching, you heard it here first. That one's on me, buddy. Like, go ahead and make it happen.
Yeah, well, that sure seems like a bit of an ego stretch here. If you're watching, yeah. Guess that's a humorism also.
Plus, just how unhinged these people are.
Everybody's unhinged. I mean, everybody is extremist, and they're displaying it. Okay, so yeah, that's the mode right now. Everything's black and white. Everything is, all or nothing. And both sides are feeding that, right? Both sides are being obstinate to any kind of moderation. So all of a sudden, some of the liberals have gotten completely wacky. Like people should have allowed to have all kinds of they should be able to bring a whole zoo onto an airplane because they need to pet the zoo animals while they're on the plane or they'll go insane. Just silly. Let's bend over backwards for any kind of eccentric behavior. Except if you're agoraphobic, we won't pay any attention to that at all. We'll expect you to do all kinds of things. I mean, the hypocrisy of it, right? I mean, some disabilities are, they're just, they'll spend $1 billion of resources on it, and some other one they won't give 10 cents to. Because it's all about the image. It's all about what makes a good poster child. It's all about making some political statement. It's all about some message bullshit. So it really doesn't have any. No, there's no sincerity anywhere. So it's like all the charities, we're raising money for, and no, and they're really having an event, with punch bowls and all kinds of stuff they paid for to make, and all kinds of display shit, and all kinds of pageants and performance art, and all kinds of bullshit, and they're not raising any money at all. I mean, it's just the whole society is made out of horse shit. And you think that somewhere on your side of the fence, they're all acting like people with integrity? that they're all carrying "I'm rational and reasonable and disciplined in my opinion" signs? No, they're also crazy, racist fanatics. They're knee-jerky, just as reflexively ignorant on the subject, just as undisciplined. So there's just no discipline on either side of this political war. And it is just a bunch of excess all over the place.
The anti-white stuff in the entertainment industry.
So again, I think it's just a silly statement. It's not anti-white. It's plus, some kind of Pyrrho view of reality where, we don't have to speak the same language. We don't have to have similar values and habits. Everything will be just fine if we're stepping on each other's toes, or we're pushing our shopping carts backwards, or we're doing all kinds of shit that just annoys other people. And yeah, that's totally unreasonable. So there's this silly expectation that somehow we're going to get through all of these little bits of diversity problems, all of these different habits, and everything will be just fine. And it won't, because that's not the direction it's heading in. And, so yes, a reasonable person can say, we're not heading that way. That's not the way things are going. The separations the divides are getting bigger. I mean, we're not at, it's not, culturally, there's no moving to one place together. The two cultures are moving to separate places. And so the diversity problem is getting bigger, and they're just pretending that somehow they're going to go back to 1970 and everybody's going to try to just act like a nice person. And nobody's trying to do that.
Anti-male themes.
Yeah, again, this obnoxious male stereotype themes, which makes sense. The stereotype is a shithead. Women are for me to abuse attitude. And this has come from a guy who just doesn't seem to have any humility about his own bent psychology. That somehow he doesn't think is a bent psychology. So as much as he's, bowed to the altar of his God and asking for forgiveness for the whacking the women, he doesn't do it with any sincerity because he thinks that's a normal male motivation. That's the way I should be. I should be liberated to, pull her by the hair, with my club and drag her into my cave and force her to be my bitch.
For a while. Any male character in Hollywood or TV has to be either an inept, hapless, dopey dumbass, a cold-blooded villain, or like sort of the reluctant hero that needs either a woman or some wise minority.
Maybe you should provide more examples of this, but yeah, I mean, certainly, I guess the Star Wars thing, they got a woman hero in there. It seemed fair, coppish. Throw one in now and then. So I mean, I just, so what's your argument is that that shouldn't be an ideal we strive for, where we can be, we can have different levels of competency and we don't have to be role-playing all the time? Oh, what a horror.
Type character to teach him what to do and mentor him, right? But I think...
well, frankly, it works for me. So I guess that's sort of a thing for you. I like the strong woman thing. I mean, that makes it even more fun if you were to actually be able to persuade such a woman that you were worthy. You'd feel good about yourself, because you earned it. You got somebody whose opinion and whose competency you have some admiration for, rather than some, trivial girl going, whatever, Valley Girl, simpleton combing her doll's hair or something. You're not going to be too impressed because you impressed somebody doing that. So why does the idea of women that have some kind of competency scare you?
I think the mask is sort of coming off as far as how much they really hate us. Like
I really hate you. So again, it's just, I'm white male and I hate the stereotypes. Yeah, okay, I don't get the brutality. The cruelty to animals committed by men is, by proportion to women, is huge. The grotesque insensitivity, the glorification of just silly soap opera, the sports crap. Oh, I have to see how my hero does today. I mean, you're just as bad as some woman watching the little doctor soap operas and seeing it. Well, Dr. Blue get his, will he be able to finally tell nurse whoever that he's in love with her and blah, 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 blah. It's just a soap opera, this sports crap. But again, it's this violent nature and this gross nature. Like everything's a fucking goddamn joke. You're just glib, insensitive. You drive too fast. You litter too much. You are pigs. I mean, maybe they ought to do that statistic too. I mean, there are a lot of women who have picked up bad habits, but I just wonder what the statistics are about what kind of person, the average person who throws their stupid styrofoam cup out the fucking window. Who does that?
About political correctness, because there's nothing politically correct about talking about mutilating children and putting kids into a wood chipper and shit like that.
Oh, yeah, again. So this is like he's talking like this is some realistic plan proposed, like let's pass legislation in the Congress. And again, frankly, sometimes these almost exaggerated statements get to the heart of it. I mean, they do. There's a point where you just say, let's fix the problem, and yeah, it's going to require some, you're breaking some fucking eggs. But yeah, there's a lot of fucking retarded dead wood on this planet. Now, if you had the power, if you got to play God and you got to make the decision, and you got to call the human race of, say, 1 billion people, Are you saying that you couldn't figure out, who's on what side of the save it fence?
That's not just virtue signaling. That's not just kind of covering your ass and saying, "Hey world, look at me. I'm not a racist. Hey world, look at me. I don't support the genocide of Native Americans or slavery or whatever." There's more going on here. That's genuine racial hatred.
Yeah, well, says you. I guess you really don't understand how, if it's genuine racial hatred, that it would be phrased different. And clearly it's a defensive argument. So you're just going to keep pretending there's nobody sincerely defending better ideals. That's your argument. And I think that's just silly.
That's like genocidal levels of hatred right there. They really want to kill white boys. They want anybody who's white and male to die.
Well, frankly, yes. If all you're going to do is barbecue, play sports, drink and drive, belch, fart, laugh at other people's misfortune, then yeah, okay, sure, I'll vote for it. Yes, let's camp them. Let's slowly, like a fucking malaria mosquito. Yeah, let's just see if we can get rid of that. Who needs it? I don't need it.
For existing. Because I reiterate, he didn't do anything. I mean, yeah, he had a hat. He had a hat. Kanye West wears that hat. So.
All right, I don't know I didn't know there was a special hat now. So, okay, so there's some sort of wear it on your sleeve attitude hat now. Okay, I have to get myself one of those. I hate human hats or something. I'm really saying I hate white males. No, I hate all fat, smelly, farty, arrogant, stupid, ignorant, fucking NASCAR watching douchebags. I
think the only time Hollywood likes a white boy is when they're trying to fuck him. I read Corey Feldman's book, Choreography. Very fascinating read.
Corey Feldman. Oh, that was that kid actor who was a little snarky kid, yeah.
I recommend that one. Can we just have...
He wasn't really all that doable. He was kind of nerdy and putsy, actually. But anyway.
War already and get it over with. Can we just do that?
Yeah, no, I'm voting for it. Yeah, sure. It really would be. Just, get rid of this what's the word? I'm looking for the word I've been just using the whole fucking video. These differences. Yeah, there's too many differences, too much difference. Fuck it. Let's get rid of the, war again. Let's get rid of this religion thing finally. Yeah, let's just kill them all. Yeah. Because, there's no living with you, jackasses. You hate our freedom.
Day of the rope when. I mean, I'm so tired of all the acrimony and tension in the air. It's stressful. I'd rather just fight. And I like our odds. There's a lot of white guys.
Yeah, but I just, I think you're, I don't know who's going to pick this side. Like I said, I just can't imagine that there's going to be too many people saying, oh yeah, if these guys win, I'm going to have fun in their town. I don't think so. In the world they're going to make. There's not going to be too many people who are going to say, yeah, no, these are the assholes I want to hang out with, is these bearded, fat, farty males. No. With logos painted on their cars and shit.
We're well armed. President Trump, can you...
So that's part of your argument, right? Is that you're the paranoid folks. You're the ones that oh yeah, we're defending civilization, but no, it's only the civilization I make. I need to have power. Okay, I need to be the one in control. And so you're just kind of pointing out that that's the kind of people you are. It's control freaks. Um, you can't. You'll even compromise. Well, like obviously, you'll say it's acceptable that a few kids get their heads blowed off, so we can have this freedom to control our power weapons. You'll just say the victims are acceptable fodder for the great purpose of you thinking you have a loaded gun, and it's going to matter in the big scheme of things, that somehow it will fix more than it breaks, when the statistics kind of scream, no, it breaks more than it fixes.
Cross the Rubicon and declare yourself emperor and suspend the Constitution or something. I'm ready for a fascist dictatorship. I really don't care anymore. I don't.
Yeah, I'm likewise fed up, with this world full of liars and fakes and phonies, and so I'm sick of the left. I'm sick of the right. I'm sick of all you assholes. Quite sick of you all. But yeah, I don't see that there's anything in the basic function of this mechanism that has any redeeming value. We're just game players by nature, and there's no good games to play.
Let's run the cost-benefit analysis on this. What would we lose and what would we gain? Fascist dictatorship in the United States. Let's see. We have militarized police and martial law in the streets. Oh, wait. We already do.
Yeah, mostly white. So, another point against your side. And demonstrating a tremendous hypocrisy and lack of any discipline.
We'd have a surveillance state and lose all of our rights to privacy.
And what do you need those for? I'm just saying, theoretically, what are these private rights for, except to do what? Break the law? What are you going to do with your privacy rights, except something you shouldn't be doing? It's kind of the truth, isn't it? I mean, isn't it?
Oh, wait. Let's see. We lose all our free speech. No. We already lost that, didn't we?
Yeah, well, again, it was a stupid concept from the very beginning. I mean, you shouldn't be free to lie. You shouldn't be free to use words that will hurt other people. So there should always have been some limits on the freedom anyway, I don't see anything wrong with people saying, I'm a racist, I hate niggers, blah, 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 whatever. I think they have a right to do all that crap. But when they, it's when they take it to some other level, of organization. And then those organizations have secret clubs and secret meetings to conspire against people. Well, that's when it gets to be, when have you done enough setups for your crime where we could just say, well, let's prevent the crime instead of letting it happen? I mean, he's bought the body bag, he got a boat, he's got a club, he's got this, he's got all those things. He's obviously preparing for it. Do we just let him, rape and kill the woman and then dump her in the water before we arrest him?
That's right. Yeah, that's only the corporate media still has that. Right. And celebrities on social.
Well, again, they have it in the same context that anybody has it, in the sense that obviously all this big stink can be made, and you can boycott their shavers and do this and do that. So you have your freedom to react to their free speech, and that's what most of it is reactions. So again, it's a little hard to press, I think, to find where people are actually having their free speech silenced. Yeah, they can't free speakly on corporate media. Owned corporations won't give you absolute freedom, but you certainly can make your own website and do shit. So it's not like you're being entirely silenced. But yeah, it's not. It's like I said, I'm not for censorship.
I guess they get to say what they want, but the rest of us, I think the First Amendment's been gone for a while. I don't have a lot to lose from a fascist dictatorship, do I? I used to be really afraid of the idea of that happening in the U.S. My skin's the right color. I think I could ride it out.
Yeah, whatever. With who? Doing what? Watching NASCAR. Okay. Yeah, not for me, frankly. So, whatever. Fine. I don't hope that your side wins. I'm not too optimistic about the other side winning either, because they're all full of assholes too. So, you know, it's all quite a dismal prospect, actually.
Yeah, Trump, you know, if you want to just arrest Pelosi and Schumer, I'm okay with it. If push comes to shove,
well, and we know who's guilty of more crimes, right? I mean, so, you know, that's the joke of this. You're talking about Trump. I mean, a guy just broken every law there probably is, and he's, you know, he's done it with immunity as a privileged white inherited male. You know, I inherited my position. I didn't have to earn it. I didn't have to fight for it. I didn't have to grow up in the ghetto and create a business and do anything. I, in fact, have lost more money than I've made. A fact. And this is your icon. So you see how your argument just fails dismally, because your icon is an exact representation of what we should have let go of a long time ago. A bunch of privileged people who don't have to play by the same fucking rules.
you know, you can send me like a MAGA armband. I think I'm ready to go. I am. The Constitution has kind of been done for a while.
Yeah, right. Like Trump has ever read the Constitution. Like Trump has any notion of what any of these liberty clauses mean. Trump's about Trump. Again, he's a perfect poster child for this whiteness that you're trying to defend, the integrity of. And instead of pointing to maybe, you know, all the white, well, see, they're Jewish, you know, the scientist or something, or pointing to some other thing. You're pointing to an icon for exactly what's wrong, what exactly has been wrong. You're pointing to the malaria, you know, and saying, look how cool this mosquito is. It's full of malaria. You know, so yeah, no sale.
Think.
If that's a man with real balls, you know, then I'm not a man. Okay. If that's your definition of the real deal, no, not even close.
Let's just do it. Let's just have a war. Let's just have a civil war. If you guys want to kill kids, fuck it, I'm not okay with this. I'm really not.
Then you'll lose the war, frankly. I'm okay with it, frankly. You know, I'm not going to have any problem. So, you know, we'll see who wins the war.
There's a point at which you have to admit you've hit your breaking point. I
mean, you know, look, I'm all... The only time it matters that it's a kid is, again, with this the fair fight argument. But obviously in a war, there's, you know, fair fight is irrelevant. You're just going to, you know, all you want to do is stop them as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And that's the only real objective, rationally. You don't want to be torturing anybody or causing any prolonged harm, but it's just a fact. You know, you're not going to win, you know, if you're too big a pussy about it.
Man, I think he's an alpha Chad with huge brass balls. I salute you, sir.
All right, what did he just say? He says Trump has some sort of balls. Again, this is a guy who never won a fair fight in his life, never had to fight a fair fight. And even in his unfair fight, he's lost more than he's won. You know, let's play that again. Oh, I guess Chad.
I salute
saying.
You, sir.
That's who he's saluting. The 16-year-old racist.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna go lay down and fall asleep. Keep it fake.
Kind of wasting the pain pill then. But anyway, should have taken a sleeping pill. All right. Well, it wasn't as entertaining as I'd hoped, but life goes on. Mr. Sandman, bring me a meme. Who knows what that is? Well, let's go real quick. I've already...
Greetings, citizens of YouTube. I got to get a
time.
little bit more mileage out of the Covington Catholic thing, because I saw the NBC interview with Nick Sandman, and I was filled with such a strange...
Look, he has a big giant watch. Jeez, watches. Never got the whole watch thing. It's just terrible, annoying piece of shit on your wrist all the time. Fuck it. Oof. Never got the whole jewelry thing.
Emotions. It's like, on the one hand, I felt pride. I don't really know why, because it's not like he's my kid or anything, but I was just so proud of how well he handled himself and like the poise and composure that he was answering the questions with. I was like, wow, what a savvy, sophisticated 16-year-old kid. And then at the same time, it kind of depressed me that a 16-year-old kid has to be that savvy and sophisticated in 2019.
So apparently he has all the propaganda down pat, all the right talking points for being a racist or something. Wow, so you're impressed. Cool.
A teenager has to have the same poise as like a veteran politician or something, because essentially in the social media era we all are. That's what we all are. Everybody's their own PR firm. We're always doing damage control and managing our images, and I just think that's sad.
Well, frankly, it's not. Frankly, I think that's probably a good thing, that the internet does provide all this communication opportunities, and people can learn how to communicate early. They can become proficient at it. So that's not a bad thing.
It reminded me about an article I read recently that said social media is causing higher levels of stress in adolescents. Well, no shit, of course it is, because they're in...
So whatever, higher levels than what? So more nonsense. I bet you there's no scientific way they figured any of that crap out, so I'm sure it's just bullshit, right? Who do they compare it to, right? They say, okay, here's the social media kids, and here's a bunch of retarded kids, right? Because the only ones who aren't on social media are the retarded ones, right? So let's compare the retards to the normal kids on social media, and we'll do a statistical survey and tell you how, oh, the retarded kids seem so much less stressed. Yes, it's because they're retarded. For fuck's sake.
Opticon being stared at by everybody. So I had a strange mix of emotions as I was watching this. Mostly I just felt like proud of the kid and how well he did for himself. But I was disappointed that he lied at one point in the interview and said that he respected Nathan Phillips. You don't respect Nathan Phillips. And that's okay. It's okay not to respect Nathan Phillips. Nobody should respect Nathan Phillips. The guy's demonstrated himself to be a fucking liar on numerous things. He's stolen valor, claiming to be a fucking Vietnam veteran when his service record... He did serve, but his service record indicates nothing that he ever fucking set foot in Vietnam.
Right, and Trump's obviously got weaseled out on an injury. He can't even remember what leg it was in. Yeah.
So that part's a lie. Yeah, he served in the military. He was some kind of fucking pogue that like did electrician work or something. But he didn't serve in combat capacity. So he's a fucking liar based on that. He claimed.
So if you're forced to serve and you're subjected to the possibility of being called, that's somehow nothing. When I think that's still something. But regardless, fuck you. So I don't know if there's anything in here worth... he's talking about subjects that I just couldn't give a shit about, so I don't know who the hell fucking Nathan douchebag is.
Kids were chanting "Build the Wall" when apparently nobody was. I don't know why that's fucking relevant. So what? I don't see how "Build the Wall" is tantamount to like gas the Jews or something. I don't know why it's why that's even in question. Did you?
It sort of is a calling card for a statement. Okay, the statement of with zero tolerance or some kind of statement like that. I mean, the wall is a ludicrous idea. It can't even work. So the only people who could possibly be for it have to have some sort of insane aversion, to South America. out of all kind of rational proportion. And again, this is the whole immigration thing is fixed by merely having accountable Social Security numbers and just making the businesses accountable for who they hire. So employer sanctions fixes the whole problem. So why don't the Republicans just do that? It'll only cost 99% less. You know, even less than that. I mean, it'll cost a few $1 million versus billions of dollars. And you're too stupid to figure that out? You know, I mean, so obviously the fact that you're ignoring that you can fix the problem dirt cheap, and instead you want to put up some big wall that says "fuck you Mexico" on it, just demonstrates that you got some other agenda. You don't want to fix the problem of illegal immigration. You just want to make some kind of statement that I hate Mexicans or something. All right, that's probably enough. So anyway, not much of a video, I have to concede, but you know, I have been in decline lately, so I will try to. Oh, here I go again. I will try. Fuck it. I either will do or do not do. There is no try. Yeah. So yeah, I either will up the game or I won't. But it's on my mind. I do have to do something more impressive than what I've done and what I'm doing. Obviously, I have to. So I'm not winning. So, but again, winning is walking backwards. You know, winning isn't. It's just not a game where you fight a good fight and you win. It's a game where you bend over to pick up a jelly bean that fell out of your pocket, and the guy swings and misses, and you know, and then you stand up and your head hits his chin and you knock him out. That's the game we're playing. You know, the game is fucktard. So you kind of have to just wait for yourself to be a fucktard some way, and back into the victory lane, because you're not going to do it straight up game playing. Pretty much. I'm going to try to do it that way, but yeah, I'm going to try to do it right. I will inevitably make mistakes, and my mistakes will probably be my best plan. That's probably how it's going to work. So anyway, till the next time, when I once again attempt to suggest that human beings should just pause. Stop for a minute and just think about how screwed up what's going on in your head is. How your agenda is just kind of silly, like, you know, she's got a nice ass, and you know, just trivial, superficial. That most of the stuff you want, if you had it, you'd be sick of it in 5 days. That the whole game we're playing is just mostly bullshit and lies and fake and phony. We're all trying to pretend I have it together. My hair isn't too stupid looking. It's pretty stupid looking, but not too stupid looking. I mean, we're just... This whole life thing is stupid, and it should be aggressively suggested to those people capable of making the mistake of reproducing that it's a fucking mistake. It's an error in their judgment to think this will be a move that will create some sort of beauty in the universe. It will just create harm and disability, disease, and death. Stop it. All right. I don't know where I was going with that, but it's where it ended. So we'll call that an ending. Right? Okay. So, till the next time, and such.